and welcome to our webinar titled Connecting Fork to the Farm, Digital Tools Empowering Food Choices. My name is Dora Cecalo, and I will be your host today. Our aim today is to showcase 3 innovative digital tools developed by research projects across Europe that empower people to make better, more informed food choices. Why does transparency matter? Surveys show that less than half of the European consumers currently trust the food system, with just the third believing that the food they eat is sustainable. This is a clear sign that we need tools to help rebuild confidence and deliver the facts people care about the most. Meanwhile, 35% of new food and drink products in Europe now highlight a clean label or transparent ingredient approach, reflecting how consumer demand is already driving change in both industry and innovation. Just a quick practical note before we begin. We will start with 3 short spotlight presentations, each around 10 minutes, followed by a panel discussion where we will bring perspectives together and finally wrap up with an interactive Q&A session with all of you. The session is being recorded, and we invite you to post your questions in the Zoom Q&A box during the presentations, and I will bring them into the discussion later. So let's get started. Our first presentation is from Carolina Reyes Palomo, who is a researcher at the University of Cordoba, specializing in sustainable meat production and animal welfare. She has contributed extensively to EU projects advancing meat quality, genetics, and transparency in food supply chains, and is part of the multidisciplinary mEATquality project, working to enhance both animal welfare and product quality for consumers. Today, she will introduce us to the mEATquality app, a tool that is designed to help consumers and producers better understand the impact of different meat production systems. Carolina, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I'm sharing my screen. Can you see it okay now?
Yes, you're not yet in the presenter mode,
Yeah.
but I think it's just
now?
loading. Yes, now it's perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to present the mEATquality Sustainability app, and I want to give you a little bit of context on why we developed this sustainability app. We know that the consumption meat in Europe is mainly focused on pork and broiler meat. It achieves nearly 80% of total meat consumption. And those 2 kinds of meat production are really in the focus on consumer talking about sustainability. The consumers are really focused on environmental impact, but there exists 2 other parts of sustainability, economic and social, that are really important to farmers too, because it allows them to continue their economical activity in the farm. And in the social part of sustainability, it allows the rural development of the areas where they work. But there is another hot topic for consumers, that is animal welfare. And if the farmers achieve to have a well performance in all of this part, they gain the consumer trust, and the consumers buy the products. That is why in the mEATquality project we had the objective to develop the techniques to assess broiler and pig production sustainability, improve sustainability through best practices, and evaluate environmental, social, and economic impact of pig and broiler production. Specifically, we had the objective to develop an app for intensive and extensive pig and broiler farm that can help farmers to assess their total sustainability. The mEATquality Sustainability app proposes an evaluation scheme to obtain a score through the evaluation of different aspects related to livestock management. In this app, we have 10 different topics. We have the questions distributed along, and it covers the part of certification, water management, waste residues, energy efficiency, animal management, and we have two specific topics that are evaluated only in extensive farm. One related to management, pasture and soil biodiversity, and one related to stocking rate and animal density. The methodology used to develop this app included different score according to the importance that the question contributes to the different part of sustainability and animal welfare. And we will have different final scores depending on the environmental impact, social impact, economic impact, and animal welfare, and a total sustainability that includes all of these categories. The maximum score could be 100 points, and in each one of those, and it will be like the ideal farm. We know that it doesn't exist, but if you achieve nearly 100 points or more, or a high score, it means that you are performing really well in this part. All the questions are really easy to fill out. Most part of the answers are yes or no, or they have different options. I will show you some of those during the presentation. Here I have some examples of questions that we included in this app. And for example, one of the questions is, there is saving plans for water? It's easy to fill, yes or no. I want to show you some of the results that we obtained during the project as an example of what the farmers can obtain when they use the app. In the broilers, we had two models, the extensive with 10 aspects, with a total of 61 questions, and the intensive with 8 aspects, with a total of 52 questions. And here are some of the results. In the intensive broiler farm, we had the total scores and the partial scores for environmental, social, and economic impact. You can see it in bold. But we can have the partial score for each one of the items analyzed, and we can see where the weak points are. For example, in this example, we have the certification are the lower score, so it will be the point of improvement. But we can see the best point too. For example, in water management, 9.6 out of 10. It's a really good punctuation. For extensive broiler, we have the same situation, the total score and the partial scores, and we can evaluate where the weaknesses are. And in this model, for example, the weaknesses are in feed part. The same were done for pigs farm. We have the extensive and the intensive, and with 81 questions for extensive and 86 questions for intensive farms. And here are the results. We saw that the total scores and the partial score were lower in pig farm than in poultry, and we identified the weaknesses that are more than the found in the broiler farms. And the extensive farm, we had higher scores than in the intensive pig farms, but we had two better punctuations in some of the topics. Now I want to show you some screenshots of the sustainability app, and finally I will show you a quick video on how it is working. The sustainability app will have a registration form, so you can keep all your records and access to them to see how it is improving or how your farm um, is doing. Yeah. You can include different farms or different parcels if you have more than one farm, and you can decide between those four type of farm: organic pig farm, conventional pig farm, organic poultry, or conventional poultry. There will be the questions just to check in to pick the yes or no squares. And as I told you, there are some questions with other kinds of answer, but all of them are just to pick one of the list. So you don't have to complete or to write. It's only just picking. And finally, you will have this screenshot that will give you the total score and the partial score. This was a test of the app. That's why it's a low punctuation, but that's how you will see your results. As I told you, the ideal farm will have 100 points in 100 points in all of the different parts, but it's really difficult to achieve it. And after that, you can have an improvement and advice in the different parts that were identified as a weakness point. So you will open the second screen, and you will have like different advices that you can implement in your farm to improve your punctuation. Finally, you will have a record of all your surveys, so you can check in different dates how your farm were scoring. There will be different languages in which the app will be available. Here are the ones that will be available when it is launched. And I want to show you just the video of the app working. It is really fast, so I hope this is the registration form. You will have the login and the part of the farms. If you want to register a new farm, you have to choose, and you can start the questions. As I told you, it's only yes, no, just picking. And when you finish, you will have the results screen and the improvement advices. After that, you can go to the records and the language selection. So the conclusions are that this calculator concept is useful for self-monitoring and quick evaluation, allows the comparison and identification of weak points of the farms, facilitates the external evaluation and participative certification, and it has great potential for differentiation of sustainable products. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Carolina, for this great introduction to the mEATquality app. Next, we turn to Marco Gerevini. Marco serves as a Chief Research Officer at Tecnoalimenti, one of Italy's leading applied research organization in the agri-food sector. With a deep background in digital innovation and food system technologies, Marco leads teams exploring new ways technology can improve traceability, consumer engagement, and industry sustainability. Today, he will be showcasing the Codery Farms augmented reality app. Marco, over to you.
Okay, Carolina, can you hear me? Dorota, can you hear me?
Yes, I can
sorry.
hear you.
Now I can try to share my screen. I hope that everything works. Okay. Okay, now my presentation. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, good morning everybody. My name is Marco Gerevini. Today I'm here to represent Tecnolimenti. This is my company and Codere Farm projects. Before to, I would like to spend some very few words in order to describe Tecnolimenti. But before I have to thank Dorita for giving me the opportunity to present the Codere Farm app in this webinar, in this event. Very few words. Tecnolimenti, what we are and what Tecnolimenti does. We are a scientific and technological research organization. We are based in Italy. We have two offices, one in Milan and another in Naples. We are a consortium, basically a consortium of food industry. You can see here we have 32 food industry, Italian food industry. Of course, you can see probably some logo of our members, and you can recognize. But anyway, we represent our members, so we represent more or less the 12% of food sales of Italy. And the other member of the consortium is Italian Ministry of University and Research. We are a non-profit organization, and we are dealing with everything that is related to innovation, research and innovation, of course, in agro-food sector. We collect map, analyze industrial needs, requirements, identify solution, and so. And of course, we have developed during more than 40 years of experience a large network of partner industrial academics and so on. Anyway, the Codere Farm Hub. At the end of my presentation, I will have a video that can illustrate the main functionality of the app, but just only to say something, to explain and say something about the app. The app was created in the perimeter of Codere Farm projects. In very few words, Codere Farm projects was aimed to improve sustainability of poultry and goat farming. And in this project, we design it and we create a prototype of a digital interactive food label. The Codere Farm app was designed to create a digital bridge between the food consumers, producers, and brands, and was based on the augmented reality. And the idea was to enrich product packaging with interactive contents. In order to turning a simple label into a tool for knowledge and trust. The main goals were to make food industry communication more engaging and transparent, strengthen consumer trust in brands, and encourage healthier and more conscious food choices. The idea is that just only to scan, frame the food product, the app was able to recognize some unique graphic markets already printed. So the producer have not to modify anything on the package. So already printed on the packaging label. This is the idea was to avoid the consumer to scan QR codes or other codes that are present on the label, but just only to scan the product. Only to scan the product, the Apple is able to recognize the product and to start with to unlock some augmented reality experience, some video, images, interactive graphics. And the idea is, as I said before, to improve the communication and inspire young consumers in a smart and dynamic way. So I would like to start the video, and I prefer to. Can you see the video? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So the video is very simple. This is the screen of my. Sorry, it's too fast. This is the screen or my mobile phone. You can see here the app. Just only to launch the app. This is the introductory part of the app. Some information, how is the app is work, and so and so. And this is the results. Just only to scanning the product. The app is able to recognize some graphic marker that can be in the front, in the back of the product, just without searching anything, any code, any QR code, anything on the label, but just only to scanning the to frame just to frame the product. The app is able to recognize the product and to launch. This is an example. This is prototype here to launch some section, interactive section. You can see here, clicking on one of these buttons, you can the app is able to retrieve to the consumer some information, in this case nutritional parameters. Again, another section, you can see here other parameters related to the quality, and you can see here there is a video that is launched. And here, this is something that is strictly related to the project. In the project, we demonstrated the possibility to link the app to the a special database that is called Pineapple, in which there are some information related to the animal welfare, and so the possibility to retrieve this information. And so you can see here the functionality. You can select set the data, and you can retrieve some special information related to the animal welfare. And you can see here the results. This is a way to visualize the results. It's not important because this is, as I said before, a prototype, but just only to to visualize some results from the Pineapple. But this is strictly related to the project. And you can see here again video, some additional information, everything that you wanted to include. And at the end, some information, some additional information about the nutritional contents. In this case, is goat cheese, so nutritional contents and nutritional feature of the product. And the last feature is related to information of the food company. And the last section is a section dedicated to the consumer feedback. So the idea is that the consumer can rate the quality of the product, the quality, I don't know, the flour of the product, the texture, and of course rate the functionality of the app. And again, you can see here again my mobile screen. So that's all.
Thank you. Excellent. Thank you very much for this demonstration of the Codery Farm app. And now our final spotlight this morning will be Gilles Nassy presenting the Pathways Food Basket 7 tool on behalf of the Pathways project. Gilles is a director of the Meat and Charcuterie Division at IFIP, Institut du Porc, France's National Pork Research Institute. His expertise covers sustainable meat production, supply chain impact assessment, and the development of practical decision support tools, such as the Pathways Food Basket 7 tool. Gilles, the stage is yours.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to share my screen and to present you two things. First of all, a few slides, and then a short demonstration of the web tool Food Basket 7. So it has been made in the Pathway project, the Work Package 4. It's a web-based tool to assess both nutritional and environmental performance of weekly food diets. The context is a restrictive public policies on the basis of product-based information instead of diet-based information. Then a demand to reduce the consumption of animal products for the name of environment, in the name of an environment. And nutritional scores and app stigmatize animal products, which is quite annoying in our industry. Yet, animal products are very important for the diets because they are rich nutritionally, high digestible proteins, and rich in essential amino acid, and they have fundamental macronutrients. So, in return for their environmental impacts, animal products have a high biological value and provide many important macronutrients. So the objective of the Food Basket 7 tool is to replace the usual product evaluation by a diet evaluation, 7-day diets, to evaluate the dual performance of meal, the nutritional performance, the nutritional balance on nutrients and macronutrients, and also the environmental impacts based on 16 parameters. So it's a tool for understanding, learning, and supporting decision-making regarding food choices in the general public, and highlight the importance of animal products in a weekly food basket. So this content of this Food Basket 7 has been done with an international team into the Pathway Project. Stéphane De Smet, PhD, specialist in nutrition, Frédéric Leroy, as well, specialist in nutrition, and Cristina Delgado Andrade, specialist in nutrition. So we've designed the tool accessible to everyone. First of all, it's a web application, and when you enter your age, gender, physical activity, you get the nutritional needs according to the EFSA recommendation. So how much you have to eat for your good health. Then you can enter your eating habits, and the website, the web calculator, give you an information on the basis of two French nutritional database and environmental database, which are connected in the case of 2,000 food items. So they meet these two information to provide a weekly food basket information on nutritional and environmental information. So before I make a short demonstration, just to invite you to know that this new version, there is a new version in progress to include two important elements: the iron bioavailability and zinc bioavailability, as well as essential amino acid, to have a more precise calculation of your need, and also for your balance of nutritional products. So now I will make a demonstration. So you enter your information on yourself, and you have the general need you have according to this information in energy, protein, fatty acid, linoleic acid, and all the micronutrients. This comes from the EFSA recommendations. Then you go to compose your food basket. So you have a new food basket, a weekly food basket, and you'll get you compose your food basket. So sorry, you choose what you want in your food basket. Sorry. Sorry. That's it. No, sorry, I've got, that's it. Okay, so you will compose your food basket with the product you want. Apple, apricot, vegetables, meat and eggs, dairy products, cheese, and you can adapt the quantity, the portion, if it's not the portion you already have. And then you add to the food basket. So you have your breakfast. You do it the same for lunch. If you want chili con carne, for example, and you add for food basket. Then you do it the second day, the third day, and you do it all your week. The first step is a bit long because you have to compose it, but you can have your product as a favorite. So if you have a habit, you take always the same product. So it's very easy for you to compose your basket. And once you have done 1 week, you can just take the previous week and compose your diet on the second week according to the first one. Then when you have your diets composed, you have the result. That's it. Of course, it's not a complete weekly diet. You have the composition, nutrition composition on the 4 main items, and you get the balance of your diets. You have here the list of all the products you have chosen, and you have the distribution in ready meals, meat, beverage, fruits, dairy products, and vegetables. Then you have also the environmental impacts in greenhouse gas according to the choice you've made. And secondly, you have all the climate and environmental impacts of your meal. So you can see what the impact of your meal onto the environment. So you have then the 2 information, nutrition information, environmental information of your diet you have chosen for the week. That's what I wanted to show you. That's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Gilles. That was a clear and insightful walkthrough the Food Basket 7 tool. Now that we've had the chance to see each tool up close, I would like to invite all our speakers, Carolina, Marco, Gilles, just stay with us. You can stop sharing your screen, Gilles, and we'll have a short panel discussion. Each of you have shown us different ways that these digital tools can help how we connect with consumers, producers, and different food system actors. Carolina, I would start with you. You showed us the app interface, and I would be curious to know if the participating farmers, how they have received this app. What was their feedback on it, and to what extent? I would be just curious to know to what extent you think personally it could lead to a change in their farming practices.
Yeah. For now, they haven't used the app itself because we are in the last part of the trials to launch it. We hope the end of this month or maybe the beginning of October. So the farmers haven't used the app itself. We have took the questions to them, and we have performed all the calculations, and we have tried, but in a really earlier version of the app, it was not like a really nice interface for the farmers and so. So there haven't been a beta user yet. It's only us, but we make all the questions for them, and we gave them recommendations on the weak points, the same that will appear in the app, and they were the ones that I talk with were really happy to identify the points on which they could improve. There were some points in which they said, "Okay, I cannot do the recommendation," but it will depend on the kind of farm you have and on the way of management that you use for the animal. But the general feeling was that they were happy to have the recommendation and at least know how they can improve. They could or couldn't do it, but at least they have information.
Yeah. And how are these recommendations that you are suggesting to farmers based on this course? How are these suggested, or why those specific?
We have like a set of recommendations depending on the topic that you are weak. For example, in certification topic, there are only 3 questions, just because the group of experts developing the app thought that there were necessary to have more questions. So the recommendations will be in line with the questions that we included in the app. For example, if you don't have organic certification, maybe one of the recommendation is, if you can, consider have an organic certification, but always if you can, because there are some models that don't adapt for it. And it's just being realistic to know that sometimes it's impossible.
Thank you. Marco, your app brings transparency through augmented reality. I was wondering if you could elaborate on how the data that is fed into the app, how it's protected or verified before it enters the platform, to ensure that it's actually credible and that it's valid.
Well, we have.
This was a question to Marco. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Carolina. Yeah, the idea is regarding information. Okay, what I showed to you was a prototype that we developed inside within the project with the help of one company that was a partner of the project. The idea is to to sell this app, or to give this app to the food company. So the data that will be introduced in the app will be introduced by the food company by themselves. So the credibility of the data, the data will be will coming from the food companies themselves. And I have to say that we have already started to get in contact with some small company, large food company, and the first impression when they saw the app was wow, it's incredible, yeah. But because there is always a but, in order to make usable this app, the food company have to change their communication strategies, because in order to make the app affordable and usable for the consumer, they have to change the communication from a static communication, because now at the moment everything that is written on the food label is static. No, there are some changing in wording, or some changing in color, or I don't know, a new brand. But the idea is to start to communicate with the consumer in a different way, in more I'm gonna say dynamic way. Okay, so in order to come back to your question, also the information have to be modified, changed, and so and so. I don't know if I answered to your question anyway.
Yeah, it's clear. Like, even though the food company would not need to change their labels to be able to use this app, but there would need to be a communication about towards consumers. What do they need to do with this in order to get access to all this information?
The idea is to give more additional information, more information, because the space on the label sometimes is a small space, and so you have also difficulty to find the information when you try to find it. For example, I don't know, we are used to eat pasta. Sometimes it's also difficult to find the minutes that the pasta have to cook sometimes, or the expiring date. Sometimes we have to move the product, and you cannot find this information. So the idea is to give to the food company more space, a dynamic, a dynamic way to communicate with the consumer.
Yeah, thank you. Gilles, the Food Basket 7 tool tackles sustainability around diets, and was wondering if there are any plans on incorporating data regarding the quality of the protein, so the composition of the different amino acids.
Yes. Yes, we are in progress for making a second version very soon, to include not only proteins, but amino acid, essential amino acid, to have a better view of the balance of the diet. We have collected already all the data from main product rich in proteins, so we must now include this data into the calculator.
And related to environmental sustainability, was it the specific products that was fed into this platform had already a score, or how was environmental sustainability measured in this app?
It is measured, and all data have been put together into a national French database called Agribalise, which collect the data information, environmental information of 2,000 products, more than 2,000 products, French products, of course, that have been collected throughout 10 years, through the last 10 years. and put together into the agribalise according to very recognized methodology. That's why it is supposed to be reliable data. It has been put together by ADEME, which is the national agency for environment in France. And the good thing is that this database agribalise is connected with the nutritional database called mEATquality, and in which we have the same products with nutritional data of this product. So we have one product with nutritional data in mEATquality and environmental data in agribalise. So it's easy for us to connect these two data and make the calculation which I show you.
Super, thank you. And finally, a question to all three of you before.
Yes, I may add something.
Yeah.
Sorry. The good news is that we have been included in a new European project to build the similar database as agribalise for all Europe. So in a few years, we will benefit from a big agribalise data on all Europe products.
Perfect. So now I would move on to the Q&A, and then if we have time, I would ask a question to all three of you. So the first question would be to Carolina from Diana. She asked, how did you weigh the numbers? Are the scores simply the percentage of yes and no responses, or did you use expert knowledge listation to build the thresholds? And how did you identify the indicators for each category?
We had an expert panel who decided the questions that were included on each one of the items evaluated, and the weight of each question on each one of the partial results. We had four importance level: no importance, low level, medium level, and high level, high importance. So we have the yes or no were associated to 0 or 1, depending on the question, and then it was multiplied by the importance that were from 0 to 3. So having the total score, it's how the percentage of total score according to this partial sustainability or animal welfare, where how the score went up.
Great, thank you. I hope this answers the question. The other question to you, Carolina, was from Leah. Do you also think of using a self-monitoring for future meat farms, for example, for insects, to ensure that within the protein transition, also the well-being of these animals are taken into account? Of course, this is not within the mEATquality project framework, but it's an interesting question, I think.
Yeah, well, this app is not thinking to be used for other farms or other productive systems, because the best practices evaluated are really focused on the specific livestock system. But following the same framework could be adapted, for example, for insect production.
Thank you. Then we have a question from Miranda to Gilles. I think you briefly elaborated on it, mentioning the database that you use, but the question is, how do you assess environmental impact of a vegetable when you don't have the information on how and where it has been grown?
You can go to agribalise on the net and go to the database. It's open. Sometimes you have several kind of production system which is accessible on the database. For example, you can have organic vegetables compared with conventional vegetables. So you may have a different data according to the way of production. Of course, it's not exactly the way it has been produced because every field has its own characteristic. But at least you can have when they have data on these methods, you can choose several method of production, and you can choose into this proposition. For example, for pork meat, you can have label rouge, organic, or conventionals. So you have several choice, and you choose which one you are actually buying.
Thank you. I would have another question to you, Gilles, and then I would go on to your app, Marco. So to Gilles, Dorothea has been asking if the Food Basket 7 tool offers a meal or food alternative to the user after it sees that, for example, the environmental impact of that weekly food basket is not good.
Today, at the moment, the first version, it doesn't calculate an ideal meal for both environment and nutrition. Why? Because when we started to calculate the best meal, it happens to us that it was every day the same meal because it was the best. So and secondly, it corresponds to a meal that doesn't make a meal for us. For example, it was 200 grams of tarama every day. So it was good for environment and health, but not. It doesn't meet your habits nor what you like. So, but the system can suggest you other products that could replace products that have a big impact, in particular on proteins. So it could give you indication on what product you should choose to improve your environmental impacts.
Thank you, Gilles. Marco, there's a question from Diana regarding whether the label app is just for the Italian products currently. I know you're talking about like a prototype, but like how you tested it, and whether there are any plans to expand to products from other countries.
Okay, yes, thanks for the question. As I said before, this is a tool that has been designed for improve the communication for the food company that want to improve the communication to their consumer. Of course, in the framework of the project, we develop prototypes and we work with an Italian company, and also in this moment we are trying to exploit our tool, and we are communicating with Italian company because we are close to our members are Italian. But anyway, the app is a tools that can be used in any country of the world. The food company that want to communicate with their consumer can use this kind of app in order to improve the information that can be reported on the food label.
Thank you. Now, this is a question it wasn't addressed specifically to anyone, but so it's up for grabs. If there were any co-creation methods used in the design of these apps, and if yes, who did you include and how? So co-creation with an expert panel. I think Carolina briefly touched upon the weighing and the scoring system. Marco, Gilles, have your apps used any co-creation methods to develop the tool?
Yeah, can I start?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, regarding the the design of application, the technical issues of the application, of course, we have all the expertise inside the Tecnolimenti, and we develop the technical part of the app inside in Tecnolimenti. But of course, in order to create the information that's that you see in the prototype, of course, we collaborated with the food company, and also probably in the future we can collaborate with other company, because yeah, on one hand you have the message that you want to communicate, and in the other hand you have to transform the message into something that's feasible for the application. In this sense, yeah, the final results is a co-creation between the developer, that is the Tecnolimenti, and the food company, that is the organization that wanted to communicate something.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As we are nearly out of time, let me start wrapping up. So today we have seen how digital tools from apps to augmented or reality to diet impact calculators are opening new ways in connecting what we eat and how it's being produced. And each of these projects presented not just a technical innovation, but also how, with the power of transparency and consumer engagement, it is possible to transition and move towards a more sustainable food system. A warm thank you to our speakers, Carolina Reyes Palomo, Marco Gerevini, and Gilles Nassy, for your inspiring presentations. And of course, thank you to all of you in the audience and for your questions and engagement. We will share the recording, and for any further information regarding the event, you will receive in your inboxes. With that, I wish you a very good day, and until the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.